Welcome to a quick tour of Penn Wharton Budget Model's Tax Policy Simulator. Let's get started. The current version of the tax simulator is focused on the tax plans put forward by then-presidential candidates Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, as well as the June 2016 House GOP plan. Unlike our other simulators, the dials on the left side of the screen focus on key parameters and assumptions, rather than on policy design. These dials have ranges and default settings informed by research. To read more about it, click on the More Information link located at the bottom of the page. The gray drop-down box at the top of the graph shows the economic statistic on the graph. Click on it to pull up a menu of different economic statistics to select from. Some statistics are collapsed under headings, and clicking on the heading will expand the list. The definition of the economic statistic you select is shown at the bottom of the graph. Here is the legend. You can select which lines you wish to view by clicking on the line title, and here's an information button with definitions for each line. The black line shows outcomes under current policy, while the dotted lines show outcomes under proposed tax plans. Notice that in the short run, President Trump's tax plan boosts economic growth. However, in the long run, his tax plan produces less economic growth than current policy. The main reason is that his tax plan loses substantial revenue, even on a dynamic basis that accounts for the positive impact on the economy. That loss in revenue raises the national debt relative to current policy. More debt crowds out productive capital formation and reduces economic growth, unless foreign investors provide more capital. To read more about our analysis, click on the Policy Brief link near the bottom of the page. Now let's consider the key parameters and assumptions. Each dial has an information button. Clicking on it will provide definitions and context for the parameter. Sometimes there is a box with more information about the parameter. The top three dials are model parameters, and the fourth dial deals with federal spending policy, while the bottom dial controls modeling of the comparison baseline. You can change multiple parameter dials at the same time to see the impact of a combination of parameter changes. For this simulator, there are 512 different parameter settings to choose from. Notice that the most important parameter is foreign investment flows into the United States. Setting the dial at 40% means that 40 cents of each dollar of budget deficit is financed by foreign capital inflows, with the other 60 cents funded out of domestic saving. Also, notice the dial that allows you to compare tax plans to a conventional baseline or a dynamic baseline. Even with no policy change, government debt is growing significantly along the baseline. The conventional baseline ignores the impact of this debt on the economy, while the dynamic baseline includes the effect. To see the dynamic baseline and conventional baseline side by side, first click on the dynamic baseline. Under the graph, the series Current Policy Static appears. Click on it to see the static baseline. Notice the big difference. If you want to reset all of the parameter dials back to the default values, just click on the Browser Refresh button on your web browser. To inspect the data more closely, roll the cursor over the graph lines to see the data point values. You can also zoom in on a portion of the graph by left-clicking on your mouse while rolling the cursor over the graph. To reset the zoom to its original value, click on the button that is located at the top right corner of the graph. If you want to download the data to make your own charts or analysis, just click on the blue Download button. You can download data in text-to-limited or Excel format. The data that is downloaded corresponds to the specific dial control settings selected when you click on the Download button. Thank you, and welcome to the Penn Wharton Budget Model Tax Policy Simulator. Please contact us if you have further questions.